Every student in the second year and above has joined the annual Academy tournament. By having the one-on-one fight, they will find the 5 strongest contestants in the Academy. He adds that these 5 will go on to become representatives of the Academy in the World Combat Tournament and fight against strong rivals from all around the world. Vaughn proudly hands the gauntlets to Ray,
today we're going to be playing Call of Duty, y'all.
Saying that if he uses them to get a good ranking, he will let him keep them. As the old man gets his expectations high, our guy excitedly takes them and thanks him in advance. Now that he has weapons, Vaughn advises Ray to get something defensive like breastplates or shields, which are pretty useful on missions. After that, our guy goes to the weapon shop to buy defensive equipment and freaks out after watching the expensive prices. The vendor claims that the prices are fixed and lets out that forging defensive gear from an intermediate beast. Crystal requires a payment of 10 beginner beast crystals, or $1,000 bucks. The sly vendor asks for 10 extra beast crystals and tells him to consider it hush money, as he's not interested in where he got these crystals from anyway. While Ray seems to be pissed off, he reckons that if he gives him the beast crystal, the Academy won't be able to find proof that he hid the beast crystals. Thinking if the Academy has its eyes on him, he won't be able to hunt alone anymore. Our guy agrees and throws the pouch of crystals. Letting out a smile, the vendor assures him that their work is top-notch and grabs the pouch. Meanwhile, Ray annoyingly looks at the vendor and ponders, humans really are sly no matter what they work as. At that moment, Sylvia approaches him and is happy to see Ray, who asks her if she's here to buy equipment as well. While Sylvia agrees and says there aren't classes today, our guy needs to welcomes the young lady from the Hart family. Sylvia asks the price of the defensive piece of equipment on behalf of her friend. Our guy notices that the vendor calls her a young lady, which leads him to wonder if Sylvia is from a famous family.
Okay,
After
guys,
a while, the girl hands him the extra beast crystals the owner took from him, and Ray thanks her. However, he can't seem to ignore how humans get treated differently despite being the same. He then gets reminded of the disgusting guy, Sebastian Delbert, who uttered that the children of Night become Snapping out of his thoughts, Ray decides to repay her kindness and pulls out a Wallabear Intermediate crystal. But Sylvia refuses and says that it's much more expensive than 10 beginner beast crystals. Our guy forces her to take the intermediate crystal and assures her that it's not much of use to him now that he's got a weapon and defensive gear. As he leaves and waves her goodbye, Sylvia starts to blush and affectionately holds the crystal Ray had given to her. After that, as Ray keeps buying equipment from the same vendor, the vendor apologizes to him as he didn't know he was friends with the young lady of the Heart before. On the other hand, our boy seems to be happy as he sees some progress in his team practice and gets excited to hunt even higher ranked monsters now that he's armor along with the gauntlets the old man gave him. The next scene takes us to Elder Gibby, who seems annoyed after knowing that the kids were lucky enough to escape alive from the prison. The guy from earlier reports to him that the lurkers informed Sir Kay about this, and he was the one who saved the students. As Gibby didn't expect Kay to be of some use, the guy lets out that the students have the 3 knights with them, and with Kay being troublesome, it would be difficult to attack. He then suggests to test out Knight Delbert, and Elder Gibby tells him not to rush as Delbert is a suitable candidate. The Elder further says that he still has to test Delbert's loyalty as he is one of the knights and commands the guy to let go of him. He then suggests someone else and instructs the guy to tell him that if he succeeds, the Pure Guild will give him a new position. The next scene takes us to the Mountain Forest hunting grounds, where everyone seems to be enthusiastic, and Gary suggests that they need to earn more to get equipment. Meanwhile, Monk thanks Ray, and Ian does the same, saying that he will pay him back with something better. But our boy
why is it so laggy?
They're talking to him, and Dan grabs him behind, uttering that he knows that Ray is shy, but they're really thankful. At that moment, Ray asks Sylvia if this has something to do with her, and Martha immediately stops being third wheel and leaves him alone. That's when Sylvia explains to him that the Wallabear Intermediate crystal Ray gave to her, she exchanged them for gold and gave them to their teammates under his name. With already having a good shield, she tells him that it wasn't useful for her and apologizes him for not discussing it with him. As Sylvia assumes that he's angry abruptly, Ray happily taps her shoulders and compliments her that she can become a good leader, asking why he got serious all of a sudden. This unexpected move freaks her out as she starts to blush hard and pushes him away. Surprisingly, Monk, Dan, and Martha seem to be watching them discreetly. Later, Gary asks Ray if something happened between him and Sylvia, but our slow-witted boy doesn't have a clue what he's talking about. Gary then lets out a sigh and asks Ray to promise him that he won't treat Amy like this. Later, at the hunting grounds, the bugs fly toward them, and they all prepare to fight. Ray activates his Dragon Eye and analyzes that they all are beginner rank monsters, so they should be fine. After that, Dan effortlessly fights the bugs and thinks if there's a more challenging thing around here. While Gary concludes that he's just become better at fighting, Monk impressively slashes the bugs. At that moment, Ray alerts him to watch out and reveals that it's a Hercules beetle.
How did we lose?
However, he realizes
Our teammates'
that
ass.
the defenses are pretty tough. As Ray alerts them that there are beetles more incoming, they're surrounded by a bunch of them. Just then, Gary attacks the beetle with his sword. After knowing how hard its knuckles
Oh my
are.
gosh, you
While they all
see?
seem to
The
struggle,
lag is
Martha
crazy.
can't seem to shoot through their shells with her arrows.
See, it's not me. I'm
Sylvia's
not doing
shield
this. The
hardly
lag
halts
is
the beetle's
crazy.
attack
Like, I'm
as she
literally
bounces
trying to
off.
move. Look, I'm literally trying to
Monk,
move. The
Ian,
lag
and
is
Dan are
crazy.
surrounded by the beetles as they can't seem to
I'm gonna
fight
use my
them.
katana.
Suddenly, they miss a giant beetle that comes crashing down. It comes about that Ray fights them off with his classic gauntlets along with Chi. He smoothly pierces through the Hercules beetles like
Okay.
a bow. And the teammates
Time
are
to
left
lock in.
astonished as they see our boy
So we
killing them
losing.
impressively. Witnessing him getting so strong, Dan couldn't help but notice his new weapon and swoon over the crazy strong gauntlets. While Monk informs that his advisor of the martial arts club lent it to him, poor Dan cries out as he regrets and feels like he joined the wrong club. In the meantime, our guy beats the crap out of the beetles and reckons that he can't make it look too easy, or else the teammates will get suspicious. He then calls them out for help, and all of them get into action. Martha starts shooting the beetles with the arrows, and Sylvia finishes them off with her sword and the shield. Meanwhile,
Oh,
Monk,
Jesus
Dan,
Lord.
and Ian incredibly whack the
Where
beetles
are
with
the
their weapons. After killing all the beetles, Dan excitedly announces that they're rich as they will get the intermediate beast crystals after finishing off the intermediate rank monsters, and Monk even finds one. While Ray is about to absorb the beast crystals, suddenly, the birds begin to fly away from the forest. He activates his dragon eye and witnesses a fire in the forest. As our guy alerts the teammates about the forest fire, Martha jumps on the tree branch and lets out that Ray is right as she can see the flames. Gary then presses his ear to the ground and assumes that beasts are escaping from the forest as he hears the
Yeah, we
trampling
lost,
voices.
y'all.
While Dan mumbles what they were as they shoot the